Are you overwhelmed with weeds? Here are my 10 tips for resetting your garden. Number 1, don't feel guilty. Literally every gardener deals with weeds and overgrown plants to some degree. My garden has been neglected for a few months now. It's wonderfully and terrifyingly wild. I could shame myself, but there's no sense in that. Just pick up and move on. There's still some beauty to be found out there. Number 2, dress for the weeds. Protect yourself from rashes, bug bites, and splinters. Put on your boots, pants, and gloves. A garden knife, this one is called a hori-hori, helps too. Long sleeves would also have been smart here. Number 3, leave some roots in the ground. If an unwanted plant is not a perennial and it is not diseased, you can chop the plant at its base and leave the roots. Its roots will decompose and feed the soil microbiome, creating more nutrition for your future plants. Number 4, know your creatures. Understand the critters that inhabit your garden. Some are scary looking but beneficial. Research creatures you encounter to know what to keep around. And if you're in the South, watch out for those fire ants. If your garden is outdoors, it is part of the ecosystem. Just be careful out there. Number 5, dispose of weed seeds. If an unwanted plant has gone to seed, be extra careful not to spread the seeds around. Carefully set it aside for disposal. If you have a compost pile that reaches 140 degrees Fahrenheit, the weed seeds generally will not survive composting. Number 6, enlist some help. Many hands make for light work. If the hands are cute little kid hands, they might be more emotional support than physical support, and that's okay. It can be good to have company. Animal helpers can be very effective at clearing out weeds, reducing certain pest populations, and also fertilizing your soil. Number 7, assess your soil. Having your soil tested through your local ag extension office is helpful. Our soil has suffered 2 months of drought and temperatures exceeding 100 degrees, so it is hard as rock. I'm going to do some broad forking to aerate the soil before mending. Which brings me to my next tip, number 8, feed your soil. Make an informed decision on how to amend your soil. Here I'm using a granular, slow-release organic fertilizer and adding 2 to 3 inches of aged compost. This compost is 4-year-old aged horse manure compost from a trusted source. If you don't make your own compost on site, it's best to test the compost before using it, making sure that it's free of herbicides. This compost will feed the soil over time and provide a much-needed mulch to cover the soil while it rests. If your soil is workable, growing a seasonal cover crop is a great way to continue maintaining the soil microbiome and feeding future garden plants. Number 9, trust the seasons. I was so discouraged by our drought and heat this past summer, I almost picked up the hose and watered the compost into the garden row. But to my relief, we got a few inches of rain. Fall and winter feed the soil for the next spring. The seasons really do know what they're doing. Number 10, feed your dreams. Resetting your garden is important, but don't forget to feed the gardener too. Take time to rest, recharge, and remember why you were doing this in the first place. Reflect on the past season and dream for the next one. The possibilities are endless. I wish you joy on your gardening journey. See you next time.